Hey Eagles, welcome back to another episode of the Avion broadcast. I'm Dominic Popolo.
And I'm Josie Galato.
These past few weeks have been super busy, but I hope everyone has been enjoying them. What have you been up to, Josie?
Basically just working, schoolwork, How about you?
I actually this weekend was a part of ERPA Fest, the Embry-Riddle Performing Arts Festival, which was a huge success this weekend where two arts clubs, the film club and the theater club, got together to showcase some amazing things that they've been working on this semester.
Well, since this weekend has been so busy, I've missed some of the headlines from last week. Let's head to Aki to hear some.
Welcome back to National News. As a Maryland local myself, today's story hits close to home. Last Tuesday, the container ship Dolly struck one of the support pylons of the Francis Scott Key Bridge while attempting to exit Baltimore Harbor through the Fort McHenry Channel on the Patapsco River. Maryland Governor Wes Moore declared a state of emergency shortly after. Just moments before the vessel collided with the bridge, the harbor hands on board had issued a mayday call declaring that the vessel had lost power. 8 construction workers were working on the bridge filling potholes, and only 2 were rescued after the collapse. Thankfully, the mayday call issued by the crew allowed authorities to shut down the bridge, preventing further fatalities. Now, if you're not a local, Baltimore Harbor can seem funky. Not only is it home to the commercial marine terminal Seagirt, but just across the water is the Curtis Bay Coast Guard Yard. Baltimore Harbor is a major hub for shipping on the East Coast, handling more cars and farm equipment than any other port in the country. The Francis Scott Key Bridge also supports I-695, the Baltimore Beltway that goes around the entire city. The wreck of the bridge has effectively shut down the channel, halting the movement of all marine vessels in or out of Seagirt. This section of 695 has also been shut down, forcing traffic to divert to other routes. President Joe Biden has stated he expects the federal government to pick up the costs of rebuilding the bridge, with the administration approving $60 million in emergency funds to be sent to Maryland for debris removal and other initial costs. The National Transportation Safety Board is also on the scene investigating the accident. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, along with a commercial salvage company, have been surveying the site for salvage operations to remove the bridge. In an article published by AP News, Rear Admiral Shannon Gilreath of the Coast Guard stated that reopening the channel and removing the stricken vessel is priority 1. The Maryland Department of Transportation and the Coast Guard worked through Friday to begin cutting down the bridge into lighter pieces to be removed by cranes supplied by the U.S. Navy. As of Sunday, March 31st, crews are still working to remove the debris. Rebuilding the bridge is expected to be a long process, with Governor Moore quoted as saying, "This work is not going to take hours. This work is not going to take days. This work is not going to take weeks. We have a very long road ahead of us." I'm Aki Olszewski, and that's a wrap on your major headline this week in your national news.
Thanks, Aki. That bridge collapse in Maryland has been so crazy to watch. I'm really hoping for the best for everyone impacted.
Yeah, me too.
Jillian, do you know when we're going to experience our next springtime warm-up?
Sorry to break it to you, Dom and Josie, not sure if we're going to be seeing beach-like temperatures this weekend. It's all because of this cold front that's currently located over the Midwest, and we can see just how much the temperatures drop behind this cold front. 25 degrees in Denver, and ahead of it, 60s and 70s. That's going to start to affect us Wednesday into Thursday, and I'll get to that in just a second. But current temperatures sitting at 66 degrees with a relatively high dew point, keeping our temperatures at 66 with a cloud coverage of around 50%, and we're going to be seeing these clouds throughout the day into tomorrow. And once we get into tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start to see this cold front approach us from the northwest, and that's going to be pushing through into Wednesday evening. Around 5 p.m. is really when we're going to be seeing the highest chance for rain and scattered thunderstorms. So definitely a day you're going to want to be weather aware and packing your umbrella when you're moving throughout classes. But once that pushes through, nice clear skies behind it, it is going to be dropping our temperatures though. So let's see how this is going to be affecting our temperatures throughout the week. Today, high 80s into tomorrow morning, low 70s, but then here's that cold front just to the northwest of us in places like Georgia, and that's going to be pushing through Wednesday evening into Thursday morning. When you're waking up for classes, temperature is going to be around 50 degrees and then in the mid 60s throughout the day. So 7-day forecast. Wednesday is going to be your highest chance for rain and thunderstorms, but then we're going to start to see that cool air start to push in Saturday, Sunday. So definitely not the best beach weather, but I promise in the next few weeks we should start seeing those temperatures warm on up.
Thanks, Jillian. I guess we have to wait one more week before beach day. Next up, let's go to David to hear about what we can expect from your Riddle sports teams this week.
Good morning, Eagles. I'm David Allgood, ready with your sports report. After falling in a heartbreaker on Friday night, the Embry-Riddle baseball team split a doubleheader Saturday with Florida Tech, but the Eagles dropped the series to the Panthers. Embry-Riddle won the first game of the doubleheader 6-2, but dropped the second of the afternoon 8-2. Track and field had an exciting home meet this past weekend, and now will prepare for University of Southern Florida's meet this weekend in Tampa. Nationally, the Final Four for the NCAA men's basketball tournament is set, when the number 11 seed NC State takes on the 1-seeded Purdue and 4-seed Alabama takes on 1-seeded UConn. Hope your brackets are doing all right. And finally, the MLB season is off to a fantastic start with opening day happening this past weekend and a full season ahead. That's all from me, Eagles, and remember, stay classy.
Thanks, David. I can't believe that it's already April. The semester has been flying by. And of course, with April comes the SGA election season. Students will be electing their next president, vice president, treasurer, treasury board, and senators for their respective colleges. Be sure to make your voice heard and vote in the SGA election happening until April 4th at midnight. Well, with that, I'm Dominic Popolo. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Avion broadcast.